right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode as the mic is ours. I'm always the luckiest person in the world. I get the time to spend with Isis again. Today, we're going to do this episode kind of like a first date, not necessarily a romantic first date, but kind of like a first date, just like the first time curiosity. You know those vibes you get when you're just starting to meet someone for the first time? That was kind of like what we're going to try to shoot for. So maybe a little toast.
Wait, are we really doing this? Yeah, it's
I
fun.
think we should. It'd be fun. I think
So
I've got to share the world about you, so this will be great.
yeah, just to make it clear, I'm the lucky one here. I'm really glad to share this time and space with you. This makes me really happy to be here with you today again, Kerry. It's just a great and fun thing to do together.
Yeah, no doubt. So what did you think about working together when we first started the idea of working together? What did you think it was going to be like?
So I was happy because we found a way to work together, even though we're not in the same country and we have different projects separate in the organization that we work for. So I was really glad that your idea was really fun and interesting way to work together. So I was really glad and happy to do this
Yeah,
with you.
100%. Me as well. I guess what do you think? I go back and forth a little bit on what I want people to get out of this and what I think people should feel when they listen to us.
Hmm.
What's like for me, it's more. I think we talked about early on. We want, just like how we're getting to know each other. Our goal through the podcast is people to get to know each other as well. I mean, I know there's a lot of things going on all over the world, and kind of get to know how we both manage it as friends, how we can be supportive of each other, and I think that reflects how we can be supportive of our communities as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it's very interesting how our backgrounds and contexts are very different, but still we have so much good chemistry to work together. And the
Yeah,
things that we do for our community in different perspectives and styles. But I'm very happy always because I learn a lot from you, and you always come up with really fresh ideas. And we also have very different ways to work that complement each other, according to me, because you're always like setting up times and ways and structures, and I am just like a little bit more like how do you say when you do things in the moment? I just like I work
spontaneous.
spontaneous. Yeah, I'm more like a
Okay.
spontaneous. So I'm like, I think we make a really great team.
Yeah, I think so as well. So I don't know if this is how to ask the question, so I'll just throw it out there. What do you think people get wrong when they're talking about HIV in conversations? You know what I mean by that? Like
Yeah,
what's like not just a misconception, but what do you think that people kind of get wrong, or when especially when you meet new people?
yeah. So I don't know about your experience, but when it's like a new conversation, you start with someone you just met, the vibe just goes like
Okay.
serious a little
Yeah.
bit. It's
Yeah.
like it's not that bad. I mean, of course, we're always gonna live with this, and it's just like we are in a treatment. It's like just like a regular condition, and then but people have this really strong energy and image about HIV that makes conversations, at least when it starts, like really go darker, like in like
Hmm.
they put it like something negative. And I'm just like, I mean, yeah, chill.
Because you're very public. You know, first of all, we're in the where our jobs are dealing a lot with obviously dealing with HIV and living with HIV and are trying to get changes. But you're
Mhm.
very public. I mean, your social media, you're a performer. usually when you go into those situations, do people already know your status? Is it kind of is it ever a time where you think that it's just that's not necessarily your identity? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So because of our work and because I'm public, people usually know that I live with HIV.
Mm-hmm.
So in our community, I mean, the LGBT community, it's a little bit of a topic that it's not as hard to talk, but it's still very dominated by people that it's very negative about it still, like even in
Mm-hmm.
2026 when they talk, I don't know, when people in the community, especially between gay men, they talk about HIV,
Okay.
it's still very stigmatized, which makes me really think about how much we really progress socially, because I have not received a lot of attacks because of my status, but I've seen a lot of people, a lot of friends or people I know or people that come up to me and say, okay, when I publicly said that I'm HIV positive, I received a lot of negative, even violent comments
Really?
because of my status. Yeah. Like in social, not social media, but like dating apps,
Mm-hmm.
you can choose to share. Remember, Eric told you that you can share to share
Mm-hmm.
what your status is. So someone can just come and say like really mean things about that in like really stigmatized ways. So I'm just surprised that it's still that kind of topic.
Yeah.
I don't use dating apps, but it's like I don't really want to do it because it's better to get to know a person before like actually going through all that kind of information, because it gets really scary. Like between gay men, I don't know how they're very like frontal and like just quick. They want like everything
Okay.
extremely quick and just like that. But at least I speak for myself. I'm not very comfortable in those spaces. Being a trans woman living with HIV can be really tough and hostile in spaces like that.
I bet. I bet. And that's interesting. 'Cause I've never been on any kind of dating apps. And I always wondered how that goes. And I think that you think that's in your opinion, is that a good way to start to disclose, just putting it out there? I mean, I guess when the
Uh,
negative comments come, you don't really have any contact with the person, but I also
I
think
don't
that can be
know.
equally as traumatizing as well.
I guess it can work for people to start in that kind of space, like a very sexualized place, to say it. But as I told you, I've seen that it gets a lot of like negative backlash. But
Yeah.
my personal advice would be first to share it in your like close circle of people,
Okay. Yeah.
and then going from there, like then your close community and then the full community. For me, it
Right.
was just like right when I had my results from the doctor, I was like,
Mm.
I need to share it, I need to say it, I need to get it out of my chest. And it was just a couple days after I got it that I shared it like publicly in my social media. That it's
Oh,
like
wow. Okay.
it's not private because I don't have it like a private profile, but it's also people that follows me because most of them know me personally.
Mhm.
So that helped me a lot in my process. I was like, I don't need to hide this because it's not bad. That kind of feeling, like it's something
Yeah.
that I don't need to hide because it's not something that it's bad. And that I know that it's not the same situation because some contexts are really dangerous for people to say their status.
Sure.
But if right when I got from the doctor, I called my mom and I was like, Mom,
Mm.
I'm HIV positive. And she was like, chill, you're gonna be okay, blah blah blah.
Wow.
So I was like, if my mom says it's okay, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Because
I
she's my
I
best
get
friend. So
that.
I was like, uh-huh. I was like, I'm gonna be fine. And then I needed to share it with my friends and everyone. And And I got a lot of positive backlash from people that was like, I've always, since I got my status, I've always hit it because I thought it was something bad or negative about it, and I was like, I'm glad that you're talking that with me. And then some of them were open publicly, so that was just like, that was a positive impression from for me and from me, I guess.
I gotcha.
But I think people in their contexts, different contexts, can do whatever they feel better like to do and to
Yeah.
share, and depending on, but just so they know that you, Kerry, and I, and your project are with them in case they want to go public, in case they want advice. Yeah, so they know that they're not alone. That's what I mean.
Yeah. It's cool that you got a lot of support from because you must have been on social media a lot before your diagnosis, and to be able to put it out there and get support, I bet that felt reassuring. And it's funny you
Yeah,
say that. The first person I told was my mom as well. But it was so long ago we didn't have smartphones or cell phones. This was
yeah,
in '88.
yeah.
But I remember driving over to her house, to my parents' house, and you know how moms are. She knew something was up right away when I first walked into the door,
They
and
can smell it.
instantly. And the hardest part I had is I didn't know, wasn't that I was afraid to tell her. I just didn't have enough information to know what to say. I didn't, because I was so naive. I didn't really know even what HIV was at that time. And so, but yeah, she was very supportive, and right away she was like, "Okay, we're going to get through it. What do we need to do?" And went to a follow-up doctor's appointment, and 'cause I'm 24 at that time, went to the follow-up doctor's appointment, and she went with me. Almost it wasn't even a question if she would go or not, and there wasn't any kind of judgment. It was just, okay, what are we going to do? And that really helped me a lot.
Yeah,
To get started off that way. Like I think I heard you say, it's kind of yeah, your mom's always going to have your back, and then everything else can figure out.
yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you this: when you're going on a date, like when you first start your date, um, when does it come up in the conversation for you? Does it start come off right away, or how do you manage the first date or so when you get to know a person,
Yeah.
when you go out?
So the thing is that I don't now I date because a year ago I broke up with my 6 year relationship. So that wasn't a
Hmm.
problem because since the beginning my partner knew, and I was like, okay, so this is it, because in case we're gonna, have, how do you say to fuck? So, or make love.
Okay.
uh, just so you know. And he was like, are you on treatment? That's cool. So no problem. And I was like, okay, this is a very rare case when someone is already informed and you don't have to explain a lot and go uncomfortable. And before him, there was this partner that was with me when I was diagnosed. And
Right.
so we were already together, and it was just this process of him having to go back and make sure that he wasn't positive, because we
Mhm.
had uh, relationships of, like, yeah, risk.
I
And
got you. Yeah.
so it was just that 3 month period that I was a little bit nervous about him being positive like me.
Right.
Eh, but that was it. He was After that, he was like, okay, so even if I had it, I will still be with you, because it's just like sexual health. And he was also a very smart person and very
Mhm.
informed, so I didn't have that problem. But now that I date, sometimes, like really rare, I'm like, I don't bring the topic like, right, like, okay, so what do you do, what's your status, or no. I'm
Right.
just like, usually it comes, the topic comes up because of my work,
Okay.
because,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, so if they don't know, they're like, what
Yeah.
do you do? And then I'm like, so I coordinate for an NGO for this type of work, and they're like, so what's the thing that you work for? And I'm like, HIV. And then
Hmm.
it goes from there, because I always speak like us people living with HIV. But that's
Okay.
something
Yeah.
that I think we're used to, right? We
Yeah.
always speak like we. Well, I do
Exactly.
that. Especially in Spanish, it's like las personas que vivimos, us people
Okay.
that live with HIV. So it's just
Oh,
the way we
okay.
talk here.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm always like that, and it goes from there, because it hasn't happened and they're like, wait, what? What did you say? And
Right. Right.
it's just like they process it, and then they're like, okay. So I've been lucky so far, uh, that I don't have to like, you know, I've heard some really scary stories about
Yeah.
like
Me
people,
too.
the I don't know how they say, but there's a word, uh, higienista,
Okay.
hygiene, when you're like obsessed with hygiene, and therefore
Hmm.
these people are really like, especially with viruses and all that kind of stuff, so they
Right.
behave really weird with people that, for
Yeah.
example, have HIV. So I have not met that kind of people.
Hmm.
I would be like really like cringe, like, so we're not dirty, but I'm sorry. So we're not dirty. I'm like,
Right.
just we just have like a condition. So you told me your girlfriend. Oh, I don't know if this is something that is public that I can speak of.
We'll figure it out. If not, then I'll yeah, we can edit and
Well,
all that type of stuff. Yeah.
okay. So you told me your girlfriend is HIV positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you
Um,
meet her? And before you met in person, did you both
mhm.
know you were positive?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So I met her. She started an organization. It was called Allies Linked for the Prevention of HIV and AIDS. And so this was a while back, and I went to volunteer there, like doing testing, answering like the phone calls, like what do they call that, a helpline or
Mhm.
crisis line, whatever. And most of the time, I would spend. Um, we kept the office open. It was kind of targeting the younger population. So they'd come in, we'd have free information for them, and it was more to sit around and kind of help people adjust a little bit. And so she was the she started the organization,
Nice.
and so and we didn't really interact that much then. And matter of fact, that was pre transition. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so and then in about a year or so after that, that's when I went to prison. And so 15 years later, when I got out, a friend, a mutual friend, said, "Hey, did you know that that she's back in town?" Because I later learned that she spent time in Chicago, San Francisco, and I think want to say New York, but now she
Hmm.
was back in town. And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to catch up with her." We connected that way, and so we just started hanging out. And I think that a couple things. That's the first person I ever been really intimate with that was living with HIV, and so that was, as far as disclosure there, that was um, wasn't an issue. And I remember when I was going to before I went to prison during the trial and all that stuff, she was very supportive. And so initially, after 15 years, we both reconnected in that sense. And I kind of put it that it took me 15 years to really to figure out who I am, type of person I want to be. At the same time, that 15 years, of course, she decided to transition, and so she was who she was intended to be. And
Yeah.
so we got it was easy because our friendship was already initiated. Um, but yeah, we like I said, we met a long time ago, and now it's just I think the thing that I admire the most is simply our friendship. I think I value friendship more than anything that's real important. I think to
Yeah.
be able to say, how can I put it? I've friendship to me is really also an intimate relationship without even having any kind of physical contact, those type of things. Having someone that you really know that you're close to and that you can trust, that you can share things that are not that are going to tell you sometimes what you need to hear, not only what you want to hear. That's the kind of
Yes.
partner and I early on, to be honest, I didn't know what it was going to be like. I was really hesitant about dating in general. So I wasn't looking necessarily to date or to have a girlfriend. And I get teased a lot because the girlfriend makes it seem like I'm 10 or 12 years old. And so I prefer more of a partner,
Yeah.
someone that I can support, that supports me. That's more what I was looking for.
But I
And it
think
seems like,
girlfriend also means like you keep it fresh and like you feel the same joy with this person of like a 15-year-old with their girlfriend. So I think
yeah,
that's like, might sound very too young, but it's also like keep it fresh for me.
yeah,
But yeah,
no doubt, no doubt. And I didn't know what, um, after getting out, I didn't know what dating was going to look like. There's part of me that was, I didn't want anything to do with it. I'm also a little bit older, different phase in my life. And so I truly wasn't planning on dating or getting in definitely an intimate relationship, because
what's your
disclosure,
age difference?
15 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a little bit.
Yeah.
Believe me, she gives me a hard time about that all the time. Uh,
She's
but
younger.
it seems, huh?
Is she younger or is she?
Yeah, younger.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I got her by 15 years, and it seems to. I think even before, I think I'm more comfortable in a um, exclusive relationship. I think that I really enjoy the time when you really get to know someone, and that you can just hang out and watch a movie, but you can go on vacation and just that kind of partner versus going in and out and dating multiple partners.
Yeah,
Uh,
not my thing either.
yeah, yeah. Um, I'm probably pretty boring in that sense. I think, does it make sense if I said I'm a serial monogamist? I mean, I
Me
really
too.
like the idea of a partner and growing and learning that way.
Yeah, that's ideal for me. I think you never get to end knowing someone, so it's always interesting, like because we are always evolving. So
Hmm.
falling in love with that person every day, it's really cool.
But disclosure for me early on, before now, um, it's a challenge sometimes, because I think that there's an idea that we're supposed to disclose all the time right away. But I think it's also personal. I think there's a big difference in being secretive and being private. You know,
Mhm.
we have a right to our privacy. And if
Right.
I'm just meeting you, just first time hanging out, we're having a pizza or whatever, I don't necessarily feel there's a need to disclose. But sometimes the public pressure I don't know, for me anyway, I don't know if it's like for you, sometimes it's like public pressure is like we should tell wherever we're at right away, we're obligated to tell people. And I don't agree with that. Um,
Yeah.
even to and I'm not going to go really into the detail of my case, but one of the things that was frustrating is that I knew this person 5 years before we ever started dating. We were coworkers. Then after she left the company, we went out as friends, 'cause I prefer friendship. But I remember way before anything, discussing to her about my status, because she had some health issues going on, and I clearly remember sharing that. And because I think that I haven't been in a situation to where I picked someone up at a bar, went home right away, and we had sex that night. Now, I've never had to experience that kind of disclosure. It's just been more that it comes once you get to knowing people, because it is really personal, it is really private,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it sure
and
helps.
yeah, and unfortunately, I've seen some people that have disclosed that have been in really bad situations, and that's saddening. That the fear of violence because of the stigma is so strong even today.
Yeah.
You said something that made me kind of laugh, because it's true. Sometimes you share with people just in general, and you got to explain the whole thing to them. What it means, what kind of I'm on treatment, all that kind of stuff, and that's just a lot. And I don't think that we're obligated to.
No, and by now they should know at least the basics. No, it's just like, oh my god, how do they know all these like things that they don't really need to know? They
Yeah.
are all day in their phones, like watching TikToks and like this like kind of information that they don't really need.
Hmm.
How much would it hurt to know something that like can keep you and others safe,
Right.
right?
Right.
And it's just like like if millions of people and HIV has been around for decades, how
Hmm.
do people don't know this? Like in schools, they should be like forcing people to know, because it
Yeah.
seems sometimes it's like learning it's illegal, right? Because it's
Yeah.
just like,
You're right.
dude, you just like basic, like HIV doesn't kill you. If you're in treatment, you equals use should be like everywhere, not only around our
Right.
spaces. So it's frustrating to be like, okay, do I have to explain this again? Like for the, I mean, if you're in a context where you need to explain it because people it's interested to know, like, but like person by person, I'm like, we're not first, like you say, we are not in an obligation first to say our status, because it's just like if you feel like you want to say it, if you don't feel like you want to say it, it's something
Right.
private. It's my health, right? And then
100%.
also it's just like, dude, even if it's my job, we're working on HIV and this, you can
Hmm.
have your own healthy breaks of the topic, you know.
Yeah.
You can rest of HIV for mental health, because it's just
Yeah.
like we have it, we live with it, but it does not define me. I'm other things. You know,
100%.
I'm a gym rat. I love cats. Like all these things that are also important, and
I think,
it doesn't have to be our main focus the whole time.
and that's what I think people don't understand with, for me living with HIV, that's just one little part of my life. I'm also pre-diabetic, and people don't ask, you don't talk about that at the same intensity that you do when it's HIV. Definitely people don't shy away from you if I say I'm
Yeah,
pre-diabetic, but then sometimes people want a lot of information, and it's know that on disclosure, one of the most best experience I had, because I'm also a grandfather, and my
mhm,
oldest granddaughter about 2 years ago, she she got just asked me, you know, because a couple of things. She asked why I was in prison, and then I asked her parents first, is it okay if I talk to her about it? And I told her that, and from that conversation came out if I'm that I have HIV, and she's at that time she might have been she was like probably seven, maybe 7 years old, and uh, she said, what is HIV? You know, and so I explained it to her a little bit, and I can see she was on her phone, kind of looking it up as well at the same time I'm talking, and
yeah.
that was such a compassionate, intimate moment, you know, to have that with her and to be able to share that with her, and kind
With
of
someone you really care about, and they're
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
around for a lot. Yeah,
yeah, and she was so compassionate, you know, and I think kids are in general. And she was so loving, and just really was coming from a place of care. But oftentimes when we disclose to adults, it's not like that, you know. And I think that it can be really harmful at times, I think, and hurtful. I
yeah.
understand how people get afraid to tell. I'd imagine for for women, it's really, can I say it's risky sometimes, I would think.
Yeah, of course.
Have
Yeah.
you ever had any bad reactions when you shared with people, especially like in when it comes? I know we both don't date a lot. Have you ever had any bad people react poorly?
So with some dates, so I just had like how many dates? Like a few. Some of them didn't work. But I'm sure that if it didn't work because they knew that I was HIV positive and they were like, "Mm," then that worked well, because I don't want to be
Mhm.
around someone that is that ignorant.
There you go. There you
Uh,
go.
Yeah, but no, I haven't like getting someone to say to me something unpleasant about it.
Right.
No, like I guess when you're like on apps, people feels very brave because they're behind their
Yeah.
phones.
Yeah.
But in person, people it's just very how do you say, they're not brave. They're the opposite of brave. They're
Hmm.
just, yeah, they just don't have the to tell you in your face. So
Right. That's true. I think you're right. Um,
mhm,
like we were talking about my partner now. Like I said, that was the first person um, that I've been in a relationship with who's also living with HIV. And so all my
mhm,
other partners, it wasn't that I was trying to avoid it. I just didn't, where I was raised or growing up, that just wasn't around a community with where I had a lot of people living with HIV. Um, so you've dated both people living with HIV and not, or um, have you ever dated someone who is living with HIV? I'll ask that.
I've liked a lot of people with HIV. Of course, we have HIV because we get laid. I'm kidding. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful people that I like or liked live with HIV, but since I had like years long relationships,
Hmm.
uh, so far they were all negative that I know.
Hmm.
So, and when I have dated, none of the people that I dated were like HIV positive too. So
Hmm.
it's just not something that, well, if I date someone living with HIV, that would be cool because then it's just like we understand each other on a deeper level. So
Hmm.
that would be cool, but I haven't had that experience yet.
Right. And for me, even socially, I think that one of the things I um, really enjoy about Sero is that it's a community. All of us are in some level directly impacted by, and for me, it's a sense of, because I haven't, when I was diagnosed, I really didn't have that. I mean, I felt very isolated. I didn't have any, I didn't know for years, I didn't even know another single person personally that was in with HIV. And so there is that sense of connection that I really enjoy now. And also
Hmm.
with my partner now, that it's the same. It's just a different level of a conversation. You know,
Right.
we don't wake up and that's the first thing on our mind, like you were saying. It's just part of our life. But then there's that other level of, if you can look at, like with you, with our friendship, I can look at you and I know that if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's a sense of comfort for me. That
Yeah.
if we're out in public or whatever, that sense of community or sense of bonding, I think I
Yeah.
really I enjoy that now. But I think I wonder. Um, I've never gone back and really asked um, past partners what it was like for them to date someone who was living with HIV. If they're not someone who's living with HIV, if it's a challenge for them, is it, and it sounds like with you and your partners, it's never really been an issue. Is that kind of accurate?
Yeah, it is. Um, yeah, never. Like, even sexually, no, because they know that, well, I'm on treatment, that
Hmm.
I keep the track on everything. So, and I don't, I never had to over explain. That was really good.
Hmm.
But it was like even a little bit more free sexually because we didn't have to worry about that already. So
Gotcha.
that was just like taking some weight of it, like, yeah. So that was really, like, in general it was really good because they also know I like monogamy and that I'm really
Hmm.
chill in my sexual part. So that was just something that they were really like, okay, so then you can just, so this is a personal decision because they're gonna say that we are promoting not using preservatives, but with the person that I was for 6 years, we didn't use a condom because we were like,
Hmm.
we trusted each other, and I was continuously going to get checked and all of that. So
Sure. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so,
funny because I was, again, I didn't really know much about HIV when I was diagnosed, and I
yeah.
way overcorrected. I remember even around my parents, I was using paper plates. I was I was so ignorant about HIV. I thought it could be on silverware, and I completely overcorrected, and it really impacted when I first started being in a relationship after my diagnosis, because I didn't want to have any kind of, I didn't want to put anyone at risk in that,
Hmm.
and there was so little information that I had at the time, and so it
Yeah,
was um, not only did I wear protection, but I was trying to be anything possible uh, to have that, not to really come close to putting the person at risk. And right now,
yeah,
it's such a different world with you versus you, and people who are in treatment. It's hard to sometimes, I think people still don't understand that, or there's not great messaging. But it's also interesting. I think that a lot of time when we're talking about treatment, we're talking about you versus you and those type of things. It's as if it's always has a sexual connotation to it. And
yeah.
what I mean by that, I remember when I first went into treatment, I was, because my first part of diagnosis, I was healthy enough. I was really blessed to be healthy. I didn't have to start some of the medication that was really toxic. My doctor
Mhm.
said that don't start. So when it came time for me to start the medication, it wasn't so much I said, "Hey, I want this medication that way I can go be sexually active." For me,
Mhm.
it was an idea that's going to extend my life for longer. And I remember when we were having the conversation with my doctor, he said, "Yeah, this will." And I didn't have any kids at that time, and he said, "Yeah, with this medication, you'll be able to see your grandkids." That's why I started went into treatment. It had nothing to do with I'm in treatment now. I can go out and have sex as much as I want. That
Yeah.
wasn't the case. And I think that's normal for most folks living with HIV.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard from you and from myself and from a lot of people, it's just that you think, okay, I want to be healthy and I want to live. But for example, I've seen that a lot of people, for example, using PrEP,
Hmm.
they use it because they really want to go and just like enjoy themselves like freely and openly. I'm glad, but I'm just like, okay, babe, but you also have all of these other things, and PrEP only takes care of you for HIV, so just be careful.
Right,
But the way they see it and the way we see it and the way I see treatment, it's just like if I don't take it, then I might get sick and eventually I might die.
right,
Um, it's not the first thing on my mind either to think like, okay, so now I can just like not use a condom when I have sex or no.
right, right. Just run buck wild. I think that's common. It's not a. It's like it's not treatment and prep's not like Viagra. You think that you can just because I have this, I can be as wild as I want to be. I don't think most people are. These people that I know, it's not like that. You know,
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, Go ahead.
No, no, nada.
I wonder. Is it? I get the impression that in Mexico, the HIV stigma is still really, really strong, or is it like in pockets? I guess. Do you think that there's more stigma with HIV or a person that with trans experience? Which stigma is more harder to deal with?
Ooh, especially being both.
Mhm, yeah,
So I don't know. That's a really good question.
especially because you're very public, so people know both. You know that that you're trans, and also, and is it the right way to say that you're trans, or what's the correct way to say that?
I
Or
call
is there?
myself a transsexual woman, but
Okay,
some of us call themselves transgender, even transvestite. We have a lot of weight depending on the political context or
okay,
the way we grew up, or even the countries have different ways to call us. But I like
hmm,
transsexual woman or just woman. But I love looking trans. If that's something
okay,
that you can I think being trans is beautiful. I see a lot of content now on the social media of women, cis women that are called "you look trans," and they're like, "Thank you," because that means that I'm beautiful, and because
Yeah.
a lot of trans take care of themselves a lot, and they go through a lot of process and efforts to look the way we want to look. So some cis women appreciate that, like, comparison,
Okay.
even if they try to use it like an offense. But for your question, I think I've received more transphobic attacks than xerophobic attacks
Oh,
in
wow.
social on my social media. Like when
Yeah.
people want to offend me,
Hmm.
or just like, yeah, they go to the trans topic to do it. So, and that's like usually gay men, or
Really?
yeah, some gay
Wow.
men are really transphobic.
Really?
But mhm.
I didn't know.
Oh,
I wouldn't have thought that.
so even on social media, straight men
Hmm.
are really coward. Like, I mean, not all men, but
I
the
know what you
ones that
mean.
are, yeah,
Wow. Make sure I understand. You're saying that even that gay men can be very transphobic. That's what you're saying?
a lot,
Wow.
yeah. So gay
I wouldn't have
men,
thought that.
some gay men have a lot of problems with femininity.
Okay.
So they grew up and they were told, okay, you can be gay, but you cannot be feminine, or things like that.
Okay.
And so I guess that's like really into their brains, and they cannot be freely who they are. So they get really
Hmm.
frustrated, and they just treat us. Yeah. I've had more problems with gay men. I have a lot of gay friends I respect. No, I
Right. I
love them.
feel you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love gay men, but they can be really transphobic, definitely.
Wow.
And
I wouldn't have thought that. That's
they
really
also
interesting.
get into this like competition mood, like because of
Mhm.
the men that date trans women, that it's straight men and bisexual men, and usually they like kind of like those men, but those men maybe don't like
Gotcha.
these masculine gays, so
Right.
they just get like really competitive. And well, trans women just, we cannot compete. We're not the same. We're just like different. So
Right.
yeah, it's weird. And I get a lot of, I don't get a lot of comments, but when people try to get violent, they go for the trans topic here in Mexico.
Hmm.
But yeah, I've seen between gay men, they go a lot for the HIV topic.
I gotcha. And I think
Hmm.
I don't know if it's different in the United States or in Mexico, but right now the trans community literally just come under complete attack. I think definitely politically and the laws that people are trying to pass. I just don't understand why there's so much animosity. I think people just, if I don't agree with something, or um, just mind your own business. I don't see why there's such a big effort to single people out. I mean, it's just flat out prejudice. Period. I mean, I think there's a lot of, for me, the observation is, um, I was at a conference last year. It was actually in DC. It was AIDS Watch last year, not the one just read the year. And I remember they um, there was so much tension about the people that were there who were trans. And I remember thinking, wow, like, so I'm old enough to remember in the 60s and 70s where Black people couldn't use the bathroom. You know, they can only go certain places. And I thought as a country, as a world, I thought we evolved past that. But my observation, it was the same exact thing. Because I was thinking, man, 30, 40 years ago, they'd be telling me the same thing, that you
Yeah.
can't sit here, you can't use this bathroom, you can't do that. And it's sad as a world right now, we've gone back to that level of discrimination. And
Yeah.
I think just like I didn't understand it when I was a kid, and I definitely understand it now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've told my friends that the hardest thing for me as a trans person, it's using the bathroom, which sounds ridiculous, but it's true.
No, I get that.
Uh, it's just stress all the time, just holding. So you wait until your house, or you go to a safe place, or you go to a place that only has one bathroom that everyone can use to
Hmm.
pee, or and it's just like, why? I mean, yeah, it's just like stressful. It's just I cannot, in my mind, I'm just like, so I recently, like months ago, started in my own gym that I've been for 10 years,
Hmm.
entering the ladies room, even with the support of the administration. They were like, even if you want to shower in the dressing rooms, for women, we support you, blah blah. And I was like, no, the thing is that the most transphobic people in the world are women, cis women. I'm like minding my own business on the street, and a woman can like come and be like, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
girl,
yeah.
what's going on? I'm just like
Right.
walking, leave me alone.
Total
uh
stranger, right? You're saying
yeah,
it's
so,
a total stranger. Yeah. I
yeah.
didn't
And
think about that.
mhm.
I didn't think about that context. Like working out at a gym, uh, drama about locker rooms. I could see that. Now
Yeah,
I
it's
can see how that would be.
like a high
You know,
school trauma or something, like
yeah.
coming back. Oh my god, it's just like a nightmare for real.
Right.
And at the clubs, LGBT is cool. And then if I go to a restaurant, like,
Hmm.
I don't, I try when it's like a big bathroom, like a bathroom and like a big toilet with a lot of people,
Hmm.
especially because people think that since we're trans, I don't know what's like their logic, but then we're dangerous for children. And I'm
I don't.
like,
Right.
okay, so like we're just trans, we're not how do you say, perverts, or
Right. Pedophile, pervert.
I don't know
Yeah. No. Yeah.
about the
100%.
US, but in Mexico, most of the people that are abusers are men, straight, like cisgender straight men that abuse
100%.
children in their own houses. So I'm just like, so what does that have to do with us? We just transitioned. So I'm
Exactly.
just like,
And
oh
more
my
shit.
god.
I'm just trying to go to the bathroom. I don't know nothing about all that other stuff. I just got to pee. All that other stuff. And you're 100% right. All the data says that is that our children are
Yeah,
more at risk from a family member than they are
yeah,
from a total that someone that definitely from someone from the trans community. I think. And
yeah.
it's even gone further where I live. They're in the process of passing a bill where not only you can up to 2 years in prison if you use the wrong bathroom. They're also going to charge the like the bar or the restaurant owner. They get charged as well. And I'm like, what in the world are we doing? Who
Yeah. And
cares?
like checking on, I've heard some cases of like cis women that are very masculine that have suffered
Yeah,
transphobia because they just don't look as they
yeah,
expect, and they even like try to check their genitals. That's like you're abusing
yeah.
people for not letting them go pee and then continue with their lives. Just like, and I am a survivor of abuse, and it was my uncle. So it's just
Hmm.
like I grew up like seeing like trans women like through my life, and all of them are good memories, and
Hmm.
like very respectful people, hard workers. Some of them did sex work. That's totally fine. That's just like something transactional that they do because we don't have sometimes other options, and it's just like, but they do it with adults. It's just like, so can you just like, and most of men are consumers of trans women, so why don't you leave the fuck, you leave us the fuck alone, like just.
What do you mean by consumers of? What do you mean?
So Yeah, so there's a lot of straight cisgender men that like trans women in secret.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, even when you walk on the street, even if they were their wives, they're like
Hmm.
different. Like when women look at you, they're like, and
Right.
when men look at you, they're like,
They're like, hey, what's up? I get that.
it's
Yeah.
like you. But yeah,
Right.
like so, why do you all hate us if we're minding our own business? Like, go figure out you and your family and your whatever, and let
Right.
us live.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a lot of social pressure, I'd imagine, day
Mm.
to day to put up with. But I think in my experience, women in general, I mean, men, and I'm not trying. I don't know if I should say this or not. I think it's just for me. Men can be kind of creepy, and I think that I was always raised with my dad was really important as little kids with me and my brother that were always respectful to women, not degrading, not thinking that they're less than, that they're very, my mom and dad were very equal. And that's the
Yeah.
environment that I grew up in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know men are gone. I mean, they can do some, they can just do some crazy stuff that just boggles my mind. The
Yeah.
level of
I can
depravity.
tell. I can tell your mom raised you well, but and there's a lot of men that have amazing moms, but they grew up like to be jerks, and that's not their
Hmm.
mom's fault.
Yeah, no
But yeah,
doubt. No doubt.
yeah, because I also know people that grew up in like really hostile environments, and they're
Hmm.
amazing people. So you don't always have to blame it on their education,
Right.
but you can really tell when someone's like you that you just like love all life forms and you
Yeah.
don't mess with no one and you just respect and love and that's it.
Right.
But yeah, most of men,
That's a
yeah,
big
they're
statement, most of men. But and sadly, you're really true about that. It's
even
and even
in,
as a male, just watching, especially now that I'm older, if I'm
yeah,
at a restaurant or something like that, or I don't really go to clubs that much, but if in a public setting,
yeah,
um, I can spot it. I'm like, damn, dude, what's up? Just like, why
yeah,
didn't you leave on the plane? Just recently, I was traveling, and uh, a person, I don't know if the person was trans or not, but definitely feminine, and watching the men when this person walked on the plane, it was just amazing. I mean, just the amount of weirdo stuff that goes on, and that person's just trying to go on wherever that person is going on that particular flight. I think that flight was to I think that flight was to DC. Just
yeah,
like anyone else who bought a ticket, they just trying to go on their trip. Why are you in that person's business? But they were very, you know, animalish. If maybe that's too harsh.
yeah. I always get nervous on planes and airports, especially in the US. But like when I flew I'm in Playa del Carmen right now, and I flew
Hmm.
yesterday to here from
Hmm.
Mexico City, and I was in the middle of two men on the plane.
In the middle
So,
seat.
mhm.
Oh,
and one of them, like when I had to give my bag to, because I was in the emergency, I had to give my bag to the flight attendant for her to put it somewhere. He was very kind, like he passed it to her. And then I have this like crystal nail when I was trying to open my Coke in the
hmm.
can. The other guy was like, "Would you like me to open it for you?" I was like, "Okay." So this is a good day because nobody has tried to like. So when women are transphobic, especially, and they say like, "You want to steal all of our rights, all of our like," I'm like, "Girl, what rights?" Like
Yeah,
since I transitioned, I lost a lot of privileges and rights. So
right.
a lot of men talk to you and tell you like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Why are you talking to me? I don't know you." And I'm like, yeah, like life gets really creepy, like you said. Like, so for transphobic people out there, I'm like, do you think if we had a choice, I would lose all my privileges just because like and I was like, let me steal everything from women. I'm like, no, girl. This is
Right.
the way I am. I have no other choice.
Right.
And I decided to look like I am. So that's it. Like, I don't want to steal
Right.
anything from you. You can keep your husband. Like,
Right.
keep it. Yeah.
Can I can I
Sorry
can I
about that.
ask? No, you're fine. Can I ask? Uh, how when did you first start your transition? Like a decade ago,
Uh,
or
yeah. So when I grew up, high school, middle
mm,
school, I was like calling myself gender fluid, but
mm,
I was always bisexual.
hmm
Uh, and then, like, when I started in ballroom, I started calling myself Isis. That it's my chosen name.
okay,
Now it's my legal name,
right.
and my hormone treatment I started 3 years ago.
Oh
But
wow, okay,
uh, yeah, so gender fluidness is part of like the trans umbrella, and it helped me a lot because I'm a woman that really loves all kinds of clothes, and I love masculinity, like the performance of it, and I love like jackets and all of these things that are pants and things that are considered masculine. So I was very confused about like, how am I not like as feminine as my other trans friends? But I was just like,
mhm,
so this is who I am. I'm just like, I see a lot of women that are cisgender that dress masculine, and just like,
sure, yeah,
and
100%.
I love that about myself. Like, I really admire women that are hyper feminine, but just not the way
Hmm
I am, and I'm
Right.
okay with it. Yeah,
How old were you when you first started ballroom?
I was. How old am I? Like 25.
Okay.
I was 25.
Oh wow. Okay. Was it were you nervous the first couple times, or you just jumped in and just knew what you're
The
getting into?
the first time I walked, I thought that I was gonna pee myself.
I
Yeah,
bet.
and I was shaking. But that I remember, I still do sometimes. But I love that about ballroom, that it keeps me grounded. Like,
Okay.
ballroom, it's like a cycle that always goes, like, you can be here and then you're like not always there, and it's just like
hmm
cool for me. I've learned that that's life. Like, you
Yeah.
have to like just keep working on yourself, and with pride, and doesn't matter if you don't always win, you know. Uh,
Right. Yeah.
so yeah, I love that about ballroom. So it's always, it keeps me humble.
Okay. Humble, like grounded a little bit, and there's a strong sense of community, I'd imagine, as well. I mean, is there like a sense of like friendship and a bond and competition, all the things that are because I played a lot of sports when I was younger, and some of my closest friendships were based out of competing. I'm very competitive, but yeah, it,
Mhm.
it was it was kind of nice having that sense of because when I was young, we traveled a lot. My dad was in the military, and so when we went somewhere new, that's how I made friends, was through sports. Because at the end of the day, everyone has the same goal, those type of things. And I wonder if the ballroom is like a sense of community, the same thing. It's a safety
Yeah.
space. It's you get to know more people, and I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a global network,
Yeah.
because if you travel, you can make friends just by being ballroom. Like, previously to going to a place, there's all these groups where you can like meet people prior,
Mhm.
and then you can host for people that comes from ballroom from other places. That's a great way of
Hmm.
networking.
Okay.
uh, we try to keep it a safe space. We have a lot of details that we have to work on continuously, because sometimes it's very hostile, and we repeat a lot of patterns that we have in real life that we bring
Mhm.
like violence and that kind of thing.
I bet.
So yeah, but you have the feeling of community, of family. We know that even if we will have problems, we will be there for each other if something like gets hard.
Right.
So yeah, I really like that. And since I grew up in like a matriarchy, I bring all of that. Like everybody calls me mother in my community, not only my daughters, which is like
Right. Okay.
I'm the only person that it's called mother like in the whole community because I treat everyone the same, like with the
Right.
same love that my mom taught me.
Hmm.
So I think that that's something that I really like about my community, that I really like to take care of people.
Okay. I
Yeah.
can see that.
Yeah.
So let's if there is there places that you'd like to travel you haven't had an opportunity to go to yet?
A lot. Egypt.
Oh, really?
Um,
Okay.
I like to go to the island of Philae with the Isis temple is, and it's full of cats that are taking care of the temple.
Okay.
I want to go back to Paris or live there.
Did you enjoy Paris?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I don't like
Oh,
French people. I'm kidding. I like the place is beautiful. I like to go to Colombia.
okay.
I want I want to go back to Cuba. I like to go to New Orleans. Uh, what's
Can we
your
get
what's your wish list?
um I want to go to Morocco.
Yeah,
A lot. I think that it's um the art scene, the beauty of the architecture. I think that's one. If I had to say one, if someone said what's one place that you want to visit, I do want to go to Morocco. I think Caribbean islands. I'm if
hmm,
I'm going somewhere, I'm going somewhere warm. First of all, I'm not gonna Antarctica is not gonna happen. Um, I'm sure it's pretty, but I want to go somewhere where the weather's nice. I think that I'd like to get an opportunity to visit various parts of Mexico. I didn't really when I was younger and had the opportunity. I didn't really take advantage of it, but that's primarily it. As far as when I was growing up, my dad was in the military, so I've spent a lot of time in Asia, which
yeah.
is I would go back to Japan, something like that, or even Korea. Just
Oh,
beautiful people, and
yeah.
but other than that, yeah, I think that I'd like to check out Africa a little bit more than I've had an opportunity to in the past,
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
too. So let me know when you come to Mexico.
No doubt. You'll be the first person I look up. What are you talking about? Gonna
Yeah,
figure out where I'm going,
you better.
where I'm gonna hang out at.
Cool.
Um, yeah, that would be. I would like to come visit Mexico City. You know,
Yeah,
I
you're
heard
gonna
it's
love
like
it.
a very a big city, a lot of high population, a lot of energy, and then of course my favorite food. That's what
Yeah,
that's what I want.
you're gonna
Um,
love it.
they have a lot of conferences like USCHA, which is one of the larger HIV conferences,
Yeah,
and every other year they're in New Orleans. So we're gonna have to get you up here for that. I went
yeah,
last year, and that was the first time had a chance to spend time in New Orleans. It was as
yeah,
great as I'd imagined. You know,
yeah,
it was what was crazy. I was there on a just a regular, excuse me, a regular Friday, I think it was, one of the last days of the conference, and we went down to the French Quarter and the Bourbon
yeah.
Street. It was so crowded, just a regular day. I can't imagine what Mardi Gras would be like. And I'm not like claustrophobic with crowds, but man,
No,
that was just so intense. I don't know. Uh, yet I don't know if I'd want to do that for Mardi Gras with that many people.
I would. Yeah, I definitely would just to live
You,
the experience. But yeah, I can go any other time just to try the food, the culture, the jazz, the
yeah,
religion, everything.
and I don't know if this makes sense. It's a city that's easy to walk around because I think I didn't stay at the host hotel. I stayed around the corner of this beautiful little older hotel, great rooms, and and I would just go out and walk about maybe a 10-15 minute walk to the host hotel, and then once we get downtown the French Quarter. It's comfortable to walk around in. People are friendly. I didn't feel like scared or anything. Oh, what was real scary? I take that back. I remember at night I went to get something to eat. And I was walking back to my hotel, and this big old rat runs across, and that freaked me out.
Cool.
But
I'm
other
not
than
afraid
that,
of rats.
you're
There's
not?
some in Mexico City. No, I don't like
Dang,
cockroaches, but
it was like
rats.
about this big though. It was huge.
Yeah, I'm used to that. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine.
I
In the
think I'm
United
gonna love
States, one
it.
place I lived in the United States, I lived in San Diego for a little while. And San
Cool.
Diego's beautiful. You have to go check that out.
Nice. I think I like it. I saw it from afar from Tijuana. From
Oh, I guess
the
so, huh?
I saw it,
That would
but I
be
didn't go.
Chula Vista or San Ysidro, something like that.
Yeah.
As knucklehead kids, we used to, I'd spend the summers in San Diego. And as a knucklehead kid, we would go to Tijuana all the time. And yeah, that was as a teenager, it was fun. I think
Cool.
that, like I said, from there, we'd go down to Rosarita, and some of the best food I've had. So I'd want to travel the world or the country like on a food vacation. Would be would
Yeah.
be would be kind of fun.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I prefer to eat well in places because you learn a lot of things from culture of their culture from their food.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. So if you ever
Cool.
come to the United States, you have to go through the South if you like food, because some of the, in my opinion, some of the best food in the world is in the South.
Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna once like everything gets calmer for us in the US, I'll
Hmm.
definitely go visit.
Yeah, no doubt. And that
I
is
have
it. I
my
know we're getting close to wrapping up. I think that um, what are your thoughts that's going on, like everything in the United States right now? It seems so crazy. Does it does it cross over to Mexico, or is Mexico that's just United States, or not? It's not really doesn't impact you. You know what I mean? You know what I'm asking?
yeah.
Or does it seem out of
So
control?
yeah, no. Like we have all of our problems here, but
Hmm.
it does nothing to do with the hate that you, well, not you, but the US have
I know what you mean.
in general for trans folks.
Hmm.
Like that open the whole time publicly, public
Hmm.
people talking about us the whole time. No. And I actually, one thing that makes me really anxious is that all of what trans folks have to go through in the US makes me
Hmm.
really sad. Like,
Yeah.
I can keep myself safe just by, well, safe, just by
Hmm.
not going to the US. But for the people that live there, I'm just like, hold on, babes. It's going to be, I hope this ends soon and you don't have to go through all of this every day. And
Yeah.
for my Latino, mi gente Latino, uh, it's like I hope they can live peacefully and just be as hard workers and charming people that they are, and that a lot of people in the US appreciate and love about us. That when I look at the videos from ICE and all of that, that makes me really, really anxious and sad.
Yeah.
Uh, so we are not in that situation right now here. Um, so I just hope that it changes quickly for everyone there, that it's Latino and trans and just diverse.
Yeah. That's an excellent place to stop. I mean, I think as always, I really enjoyed chopping it up with you. Only thing would be better if we were doing it over some food. That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
Next date
but
is with food.
yes, no doubt, no doubt. I remember. Where were we at? One of the last times we were together. I remember.
Chicago.
Was it Chicago?
Yeah, that was the last time I saw you in person.
Yeah, because I remember there was a picture, and we were at dinner. Yeah, it was Chicago, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. And so hopefully we got opportunity to do that soon. And I think that'll, because you're always taking pictures of your food and everything. And
Yeah.
no, I'm thinking of the time before that when we were in
Okay.
Pennsylvania at the staff
Yeah.
retreat. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was this fun time spending together. So I really appreciate that. And I
Yeah.
hopefully we get another chance to do that
Yeah.
for
Me
sure.
too. Definitely.
Maybe even got to get to a club so I can see you perform or something like that. Would be great.
Yes, please. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I know that you're going through a lot right now, with just life in general. I definitely appreciate you spending time chopping it up.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
yeah, I look forward to every opportunity we can just to hang out for a little bit. So this is great. And, for folks with that see the mic is ours. This is what the goal of us to have a chance to um, just to talk and have normal conversations, although life can be really serious as well. So people, if you're interested, definitely reach out to Sero Project, and I'm sure you can find Isis on social media.
Yeah.
Kerry hides on social media, so you not gonna be able to find me. But other
Yeah.
than that, until next time on our next episode, look forward to seeing everybody and spending some more time with you, Isis.
It's been a pleasure, Kerry. See you next time, everyone.
All right, you take care.